It's one of London's greatest mysteries. No one knows the truth. London's fast-paced city, it'll move without you. I say bring back social distancing. I hate it. You just gotta put your headphones on and be like, this is fine. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I am Yvette and I moved to the UK 3 years ago. So I wanted to do an update video on some of the lessons I have learnt over that time. These are all basically gonna be London centric, so soz. Not all though, but I have spent the majority of my 3 years in London. So yeah, I thought this can be some wisdom I can pass on to people who potentially want to move to London. So hopefully these can help you guys out if you are planning on moving down south anytime soon. I won't waffle too much. I know it's my specialty, but I'll try not to. But yeah, I'll jump into it. So first one is cheers. People say cheers. There's set rules for when you do and don't say it. I'm not 100%. Someone in the comments might be able to enlighten you. You can say cheers for a drink. You can say cheers as a thank you. But if you say cheers for like, it's basically thank you. I think that's the safest bet. So just make sure you use it in the right context. I don't say cheers. I don't know why. It's just not in my vernacular. You can also say cheers as goodbye. So good luck. That's my advice. Good luck. Taking the tube is always better than driving. So like an Uber. However, it is incredibly hot. Now this causes some issues. So one, the night tube is not back and that upsets me greatly because then I can't get home and then I am paying for an Uber. So then driving makes more sense, but then it's traffic. So that's a nightmare. Number one, the last tube is at like 12 o'clock and if you're not on it, too bad. Secondly, in summer, it's so hot you'll melt your face off, particularly if you have a mask on, but you have to wear a mask on the tube because otherwise that's selfish. We're all in this together, guys, wear the masks. In winter, you're like, that's good. The tube being toasty will be nice. It'd be so nice in the winter. And it is, but you're also wearing so many layers of clothes that you're like getting on the tube and you're like, oh my God, take my coat off, take my jacket off. I'm so hot, I can't handle this. Because you're so rugged up on the tube. So basically the tube is always hot and sweaty. But it's still faster and it is great. But you know why I like wearing a mask on the tube? Because if you've ever caught the Central line, you'll be able to see the pollution in the air and that feels bad. So I'm like, the tube is kind of, the air is kind of gross. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep this mask wearing, just not for COVID anymore. It's literally just to not breathe in soot. I've heard horror stories of friends who have caught the tube a lot in a day and then had like black noses from breathing in all of like the soot and pollution. So, lesson, wear a mask. Next one. Now this is gonna sound counterintuitive. Public transport's really good in the UK. However, there's like a thing with the bus and I don't understand why. A lot of people won't catch the bus, but they will catch the tube. The buses come like every 3 minutes. They're quite good. However, how do I put this delicately? There's often, you know what? It's not even, they're not being rude. There's way more likely to be a confrontation between passengers on a bus. And I don't know why. I don't know what about the bus life makes people angrier or angry people choose the bus. I don't know. But like there's more likely to be people yelling at each other and like you just gotta put your headphones on and be like, this is fine, and just plan your exit because it's stressful. Also the bus can make you motion sick, so don't go on the top if you get motion sick. I literally will avoid catching the bus because I find the times less reliable than the tube. They're still fine, but if I'm gonna get somewhere on time, I will avoid the bus. Also, I'm scared of people on the bus. Massive lesson, all of the UK can take note. Pancakes in the UK are different to pancakes most elsewhere. I'm familiar with like thick fluffy pancakes, like American. They have like crepes here, more closer to what an English pancake is, closer. So they're flat and they have it with sugar and lemon. And I'm all about that like chocolate sauce, sugar, get the calories, get it into me. So you'll be in for disappointment if you order pancakes and you don't specify what kind of pancakes they are. It's like the chips crisp thing. Quick lesson, chips are hot chips and come in a pub. Crisps come out of a packet. Fries, sometimes at a pub, but they're also there. I've moved into the British way of naming everything because Australians just literally call all three chips, which makes no sense. Pubs, especially in London, are so popular and trendy that you can't necessarily guarantee a seat, like you have to make a reservation, which a lot of parts of England you'd be like, why would I make a reservation for the pub? But in London, for a good pub, you definitely need to make a reservation. Like if you want to go to the Churchill Arms, you need like 3 weeks of notice. I'm currently trying to plan my partner's birthday, and he's in like middle of October, and things are already booked out, and I'm like, I'm scared to plan anything because of lockdowns, but I'm also like, if I don't plan anything, if I left it too late, everything's gone. It's very stressful. Anyway, welcome to my story. Another fun thing, which I had no idea until I moved, cherry blossoms are a massive thing in London. Cherry blossoms are everywhere. I really wanted to go to Japan to see the cherry blossoms, and now I'm like, no, I don't need to pay extortionate flights and accommodation. They're all over London. Like, you can't go anywhere without seeing some cherry blossoms in spring. It's so nice because the winter's quite dark, really short days, very cloudy, very rainy, everything's dead, like there's no more greenery. And then just out of nowhere you see like all these like almost like fireworks of colour, but it's blossoms going off all over London. It's all these cherry blossoms like ushering in a new season and a new, new growth. It's really nice. It's a really nice like welcome to like the year starting, in my opinion, because I personally think January, February, March are a write-off in terms of like doing anything because the weather's rubbish. Finding a good flat in London is hard, but not impossible. You need to leave a lot of time, leave a lot of budget. Don't have a dog like I do, because that did not help the situation. And yeah, like we ended up having such an expensive place for so small, and then the pandemic hit, which now you could probably get the flat for much cheaper because not many people live in London at the minute. But yeah, flat hunting can be soul destroying. I remember we did 7 viewings in 2 days for our flat, and like we were paying, what is it, £1,500, something to that value for our flat, and it was in Highgate. We were looking at other ones in like Belsize Park and like just that part of the world, and they were shot in Hampstead, and they were showing us these flats that were so old and like in bad condition for the same money. Then I was like, and not even bigger, they were like the same size as what we ended up getting. So I'm like, absolutely not. So what happens is when you first start looking, you get all the rejects that are overpriced, so you've really got to like stick through the crap no one else wanted and wait till a new one gets listed and just grab it within like 24 hours. That's what we did. Generally, and even now I guess, so basically London is busy again because stuff's happening, world's open, but tourism's down. So London at the moment's great because it's quite busy, but still like a third less people because there's no tourism. But if you went to like Oxford Street in like August, school holidays, no, I would walk into traffic. It's awful. I hate crowds. Everyone walks slowly. No one knows where they're going. They're stopping and looking at their phone. I say bring back social distancing. I hate it. Some people think, oh, I'm gonna move to London and I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna do all these things. If you didn't get out and make the best of where you were before, you probably won't in London. You have the option to do all these things, but you're still gonna do them. I feel like a lot of people move here because of the opportunity and then don't end up doing anything. They still like stay at home or get Deliveroo or something. Like they don't go exploring. Like you can literally just walk around London and you'll find something to do. There's always something on, even if you don't plan it. So yeah, you just have to really put yourself out there. You got to go to things, you know? Things won't come to you. London's fast-paced city, it'll move without you. And on that note, you could be like me and there's too many things to do, so you don't do anything because you're indecisive, which is 100% what I do. I have wanted to go see Charles Darwin's house. I know, I'm a massive nerd, stick with. Don't unsubscribe just yet. And we've been trying to go for over a year and we went last weekend just because that was the first time I had a free weekend and we were like, you know what, this is good weather, let's go, let's just commit. Because there's normally I'm like, I want to go to the, and even then I almost didn't book it because I was like, but I want to see the Tate, there's an exhibition at the Tate I want to see. So what can I say? Just like take a deep breath, open an Excel document and start budgeting your time and money because it's all expensive. My last lesson is everything takes an hour to get to. I don't know why. You can't ask me why. Even if Google Maps tells you it's 35 minutes, it will take you an hour. If it says it takes an hour 10, it'll take an hour. It's one of London's greatest mysteries. No one knows the truth. I'm just telling you, it is what it is. An hour always to get anywhere. So budget your time. And I know for me, an hour isn't a lot of time to travel, but I know for a lot of the UK, that seems like quite a long time. So remember that that's literally normal, even if you live like next suburb over. I lived in Highgate and I had friends in Hampstead and it still took us like 45 minutes to get there if we wanted to go by public transport. It makes no sense. So budget your time. So that's it for my video on all things I've learnt over 3 years of living in London. Please give me a thumbs up if you felt it helpful at all. Tell me in your comments below what is your biggest lesson for living in London, if you've lived in London. I'm sure there's others, these are just some of my highlights. And yeah, I'm also over on Twitch at the moment streaming, so come join me over there now. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit subscribe so I can see you next time.